Hey guys, it's Rachel from the Frugal Farmhouse. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be participating in the yard sale tag by Miss Stone Home. She created this tag and she tagged me to do it. So I just want to say thank you for tagging me. I'm always excited when people mention my name. So I'm just going to get right into it. So number one is, why did you start going to yard sales? And I started when I was young. I used to go with my aunt and my grandma. They would actually plan it out ahead and circle things in the newspaper, so it was like a big deal, and they would do it every weekend and they would take me along, and I would have a small budget that I could spend, and when you're a kid that's super exciting. So number two, what is your purpose for going to yard sales? And I go actually for a few different reasons. I go mainly because it's fun. I like the thrill of the hunt, trying to find something that that's useful to me or that I wanted, and to get it at a really good price. And that leads into the second reason, which is money. I like to change things up a lot, and I like to redo things and be creative. And if I was paying full price at stores, I wouldn't be able to do nearly as much as I can by being thrifty and shopping at yard sales. So it allows me to change things up a lot more often. Number three is, what time of year do you go to yard sales and what day and time? Where I live, it's really too cold until around mid-May. Then they'll start, most of them start after Memorial Day, but there are a couple in May. And they go through mid-September, and about then it gets too cold to have them again. And I think it's best to go in the mornings because the stuff is all new and fresh. That's when I like to go. And I like to go mainly on Saturdays. I will go sometimes on a Sunday, if we're going grocery shopping and we pass one, we'll stop. But the best day is definitely Saturday. That's when you get the fresh pick of the merchandise. Number four, how do you find out about upcoming yard sales? Sometimes I'll check Craigslist to look for community sales, or I'll see a sign on the road community sale here this weekend. That's the only type of research I do. Normally I kind of we drive, and if we see one, we stop. So that's basically, I don't do a lot of prep work for it. I just kind of go out and see what happens. Number five is, do you set a budget or spending limit? So the way that we work our budget for things like that, I give part of my check and whatever to my husband, and we put it all in the bank to pay the bills. When all is said and done, I usually have between $20 to $40 a week that I'm allowed to play with and do whatever I want with. So that is my budget, between $20 and $40, depending on what bills are due and what we save. Number six is, do you make a list of items you're looking for? And I do. At the beginning of the season, I write down what would be my ultimate dream goals to find, and I actually keep them in my little notebook that I have all my questions written into. So I write down what would be my dream goals to find, and it's kind of a thing to see how many I can cross off. So I will just give you a quick look at this year's list. Now it's not all yard sale stuff, but most of them are from yard sales that I ended up crossing off. So I do make a list, but I don't stick to the list. I will buy things that are not on the list too. 7, what types of items do you look for at yard sales? And I look for everything. I really, I like home decor type things best, but I'll buy clothes or sometimes makeup items if they're sealed and unused. Furniture, I like to find furniture that I can repaint or redo for cheap. Number 8, do you haggle? And no, I think maybe once or twice in my entire life I've haggled, but I mean, it's never been a major haggling. It's been will you take 8 instead of 10? I mean, so it makes me uneasy to go back and forth with prices. So if something's too high, I generally will just walk away. And number 9 is, any tips and tricks for getting good deals? So I would say the best deals are usually at places like church sales or places where it's like older ladies doing it, I feel like a lot of times that they price things how much it cost when they were buying them, which years ago things were so much cheaper. So I feel like you get better deals that way. Number 10, what are my best finds this year? So for this year, I've got, I'm going to say 4 favorite things that I found, and I'll insert pictures as I talk about them. So the first is an ironstone tureen, and this was my first piece of ironstone that I ever found, and it was like, I think $2 at a yard sale. The other is a blue and white crock, and it's supposed to be a drink holder, but I took the nozzle off because it was filthy, so I just use it for fake flowers. But I found that at a church yard sale with little old ladies, and they gave it to me for 50 cents. The third is a bay leaf container, and I just like old tins and old containers, and that I got at a community yard sale for $2. And then probably my favorite of all of these is my old level. I just love the look of the old wood, and that was at the same community sale as the bay leaf container, and I paid $5 for the level. Number 11, do you shop for gifts at yard sales? So I have some guidelines of shopping for gifts at yard sales. If it's gonna be like a Christmas or birthday type gift, unless it's for my niece, I want it to be like a new and packaged type thing. With the kids' toys, she really doesn't care, and if it's a good deal, she's just excited to have it. So that I'm not as picky with. But I will buy gifts for like non-specific reasons, just like kind of like thinking of you gifts, because I see something that makes me think of my mother-in-law or my mom or my grandma, and I'll just buy those. Okay, sorry about that, the phone rang. So I was saying that if I see something that makes me think of my mom or my mother-in-law or my grandma, I'll pick it up just for no reason, just because it makes me think that they would enjoy it. Let's see, number 12, what is my best find of all time? And I'm going to say my best find of all time is my dog painting. And I got that at a community-wide yard sale last year. And I will show it to you right now. So it's this painting, and I don't know if you remembered me showing it to you last year, but the reason that I loved it so much is because it's a personal, like a commissioned portrait that they got done of their own dog. And I paid $2 for that, but to me, that's like my favorite piece of art. Okay, number 13 is, do you resell what you buy at yard sales? And I got Macy here. She wants to sit with me for a little bit. So I do resell some things. It's how I help to keep things in budget. Just an example, something recently I showed at the townwide yard sales, I picked up a deck of Lily Pulitzer cards for $1, and I managed to sell it for $15. So that pretty much makes all that weekend of shopping at yard sales even. So that allows me to go further with my budget, so I do resell things that I find. Number 14, do you have any pet peeves or funny stories about a yard sale experience? So I don't have funny stories, but I do have pet peeves. When a sale is overpriced, I don't mind as much. It bothers me when it's not priced, because then you have no gauge on where to go. Like if I go up to a sale and everything is overpriced, I know that this isn't going to be a good deal and I can just leave. But if there's not prices and you have to ask about everything you're interested in, that drives me crazy. And the other thing that bothers me at yard sales is when people put high prices on items and then they put like a printout of an eBay auction. Because in my mind, it's like, if you want the eBay price, then sell it on eBay. You know, this is a yard sale, it's completely different. So that bothers me when they put on like a justification. I would rather they just have a high price, and then, you know, I'll just walk away and realize that they're out of touch. And then the bonus question is, what is something you would not buy at a yard sale? And there's not a lot of things I wouldn't buy. The one thing that came to mind is something like a mattress, something that's like highly upholstered that you couldn't be sure that it's like clean and bug free. But pretty much other than that, I would try buying most things. You know, I've bought clothes, I've bought furniture. just, you know, so I guess a mattress or something that could have like bugs in it. So that is my yard sale tag. Thank you for tagging me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.